Eric, thanks so much for taking the time to chat today. What is your current professional obsession?
Anyone who's here at the event and worked vaguely in technology is very obsessed with what's happening in AI. It's one of the biggest changes in technology and I think in the human experience, and at least as long as I've been around.
How are you concretely incorporating it in the way you build software, the way you build your team?
I think there's not a person at Ramp, we're over 500 people today, who doesn't in some way use AI in their workflow. Our mission is to help companies spend less money and time, and we think there's no better way to do that than taking what are dull tasks like expense reports and automating them, taking accounting and using effectively the learnings of billions of dollars per month of transaction data, taking the insights of how other companies have tagged transactions to automate and bring autocomplete for accounting, so to speak, to people. And so it's affected how we worked, it's made our product better, and we think it's going to save our customers lots of money and time.
Do you kind of also worry sometimes that AI could also abstract your product away entirely, or do you have ideas already how you'll kind of keep your relevance regardless of where things go?
For most people, so much of their month, and many people's stress who I know who are working, is it's been a month since I filed an expense report, I need to go dig up all these receipts, pull it all together. It is still painfully manual. I would say the status quo for most of the industry is it's pen and paper. It's doing things, if they're lucky, on Excel. And so I think we're at the very early innings of a long arc of taking that and re-digitizing what is a fundamentally digital process. And I think for us, look, I think it's a good thing if bank accounts and credit cards get commoditized. Financial services are many things, but innovative is not historically one of them. And so I would love it if more companies in financial services were pushing the forefront of what technology could do for people. It would make the industry better, it would make consumers' lives better, and we'd welcome the competition.
You're really known for having a really unique way of organizing your company and sometimes even removing titles and all those things. How do you think about that kind of going into a world where AI maybe means that a lot of work is abstracted away, but more creative tasks become important? What's your kind of game plan?
Super good question. I mean, people are social and want to work with other great people. There's the basic principle of why do people want to go to good schools? Because there's other smart kids there, there's other teachers, there's a self-reinforcement. And I think the same is true for anyone building a company. Hiring great early folks on the team, great leaders, brings other extraordinary folks, and it attracts and creates that density. I think once you have that density, the abilities of AI to take what were otherwise kind of dull. A lot of coding is writing low-level codes, integrating softwares from one system to another, and if you can abstract that and automate it away, you see true excellence get augmented. I think there were jokes in the past years ago of this idea of this mythical 10x engineer. There's jokes now of there may be 100x and 500x engineers out there with the capabilities of it, and so I think it's a simple formula: find great people, pull people together, and really do anything you can to allow people to be productive, so that they're really focused on the creative act of writing not just innovative code, but code that solves customers' problems, spending time with customers, measuring the impact of the software that we put out, and allowing people to maximize the time spent on that and minimize it on bureaucratic processes.
Do you think in the future people are going to have more than one career at a time, and how would you then deal with that?
It's funny. I still think that focus is good. It's nice to context switch in on the weekend, go out, learn about other industries, but I think great work still requires deep work. Other than in a few areas where you're consulting, you're bringing learnings between company, if you want to push the bounds of what people can do, I think it requires understanding a product's, a space so deeply that you've mastered it and can understand the rules and bend them. It's very hard to do if you're working multiple jobs. It sounds a little stressful to me.
If you could go back and have a different career, being a tech founder is not possible, what would you be doing?
I think I've just always been obsessed with where is the world changing? Will the world globalize again? Will it deglobalize, move to other regions? I've always, as soon as I could leave home, I spent a lot of years abroad, spent a lot of years in Asia. If I wasn't in the tech world, I'd probably be traveling, trying to learn about intersections and how the world's getting reshaped. As for what industry I'd end up, I feel more agnostic. I don't have a perfect answer for that, but I would try to spend more time abroad in the world.
And if you could go back to your younger self, what would you tell him?
It's easy to beat yourself up. Think of the things you didn't do. It's easy to compare yourself a lot. And I think I wasted a lot of time and years trying to be at the top of some field, comparing myself to others. And I think it's much more about doing the best you can, following your interest and curiosity. I found much happier periods of my life, much more productive and interesting. And so be good to people. I like to think I always thought about that, but that matters more and more as life goes on.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, geez. 2 weeks ago, The Legend of Zelda came out, the new video game. So that's been getting me in a lot of trouble with my friends and family, girlfriend. Yeah,
Distraction.
Exactly. Video games are probably my guilty pleasure.
ChatGPT or Stable Diffusion?
ChatGPT.
Grit or quit?
Grit.
I haven't gotten a quit answer on that one yet. Global or local?
Global.
Tech team or commercial team?
Tech team.
Async or synchronous communication?
Oh, geez. At scale, async. But for me personally, synchronous. It's a lot of fun.